If they aren't able to destroy the desire for freedom, they won't break you.
Now it's October, don thy woolly smock. In other words, dig out your thermal underwear. Perhaps you've already been doing that because it's been quite chilly over recent nights. For the next few days, it will turn much milder, so perhaps a little respite with those woolies. And the reason for the change is that area of low pressure will be pushing in towards the British Isles, bringing fronts with it. And over the next 24 hours, you can see it's becoming quite windy as well. Those fronts will be bringing quite a bit of cloud, some heavy rain, and seasonal thundery as well. And as I mentioned, a number of reservoirs increasing in this system, so it's becoming quite windy as well.
I scratched my name, and not for fame, upon the whitened wall. Bobby Sands was here, I wrote with fear, an awful shaky scrawl. I wrote it low where eyes don't go. 'Twas but to testify that I was sane and not to blame, should I come here to die. I was shaking like a leaf. The air was tense and filled with the cold chill of winter that bites deep into the lungs and reddens the nose and cheeks. There was an excitement that was almost overwhelming, and a silence and seemingly eternal stillness, disturbed only once by a curious unperturbed missile thrush, and a lone roaming gust of wind came and passed on by, ruffling my hair and flapping the sides of my flimsy face as it passed on its way to nowhere. As the sky grew grey and overcast and rain threatened, a voice barked a command and I stiffened. On both sides of me, 100 others did the same. Another gust of wind whipped at my bare legs, and the first drops of rain fell upon my marked arms, unnoticed as I held my breath. Bang! The thrush fled and I sprang forward. The marshy ground churned and sucked and squelched as hundreds of foreign spiked feet mutilated and scarred its face. Across an open field we charged in a bunch. My mind was racing as I tried to weigh up the situation and opposition as the lie of the land was seen and then gone in a matter of a few strides. Bellowing puffs of smoke appeared as panting warm breath met the freezing, frosty country air, and we leapt ditch and jumped gaps, splashing through a swampy pond that had been sleeping. Black, murky, icy water lashed and flayed at my naked, plunging, trudging legs as I fought my way through it, and some fell and others gave up. My heart pounded like the trump of an army, but I could do it. I knew I could do it. As I burst forth, passing those whose strength and hope were fading and feeling them fast, and I leapt the ditch once more, forging and forcing my weary legs to carry me up the last heart-destroying, body-racking hill. I mastered it, and with the refreshing wind and lashing rain on my face, I sprinted for home, towards where the crowd stood, towards where the finishing line lay, and I never heard the cheering voices or saw the smiling, congratulating faces as I broke the finishing tape, breathing like a racehorse in deep, fast gulps. I was 14 years of age. It seems like only yesterday.
I must have died last night, because when I woke this morning, I was in hell. I am Sir. I think I am some sort of tomb. I cannot see, as everywhere is in total darkness. I am Sir. Who or what is a Sir? I am Sir. You are 1066. What is 1066, I think? Obviously it is me, but I can think, speak, smell and touch. I have all my senses. Therefore, I am not a number. I am not 1066. It's watching me. I am a human. I am not a number. It's watching me. I am not 1066. I wish I was dead. I remember I once had a family. Where are they now? Will I ever see or hear them again? I am Sir, but I am dead. I am Sir. I am Sir. You will conform. I can't even kill myself. Conform! Where am I? You will conform in Hitch Block 5. I fought a monster today. Conform! You see, I am trapped and all I can do is resist. I think and feel that it may kill me first. Monsters do not exist. The monster is shrewd. It plays with me, it humiliates me, and tortures me. I am Sir. I'm like a mouse in comparison to this giant. But when I repel the torture, flicks upon me, I feel 10 feet tall. 10 feet tall, for I know I am right. If we don't beat it soon, it will murder me. Of this, I am certain. Monsters do not exist. And it sent its devils to keep me on edge. Nor do devils. I'm mad. There cannot be so many devils. Yes, that's it. I'm insane. But my pain, suffering, and grief are real. The monster roars at me. No, I'm right. I know I'm right. I have nowhere to run. My tomb may be my grave. My body's broken and cold. I'm surrounded by barbed wire jungle. I'm lonely and I need comfort. Tomorrow will be my 740 day of torture.
Eternity.
Yes. Tomorrow I'll rise and hitch blocks of long cash. Yes. Tomorrow I'll fight the monster and his devils again.
Flowers are gentle maidens. They radiate a breathtaking beauty and a fragrance that swoons the very birds. Symbols of love and peace are these little charmers of nature. There is happiness to be found in every flower, and the freshness and beauty of life for those whose own lives have grown stale and dull. They entice the bees and court the ladybirds, these little devils of colour, flaunting to the breeze, dancing with the wind and shedding their dewy tears as they marvel at the glory of a new day. Primroses are the joy of the poor man, the tiny yet hardy clusters of bright yellow that herald the death of winter, the birth of spring, and the expectancy of summer. Jewels of the wild are the primroses, embedded on the sides of mossy banks and roving ways. 'Tis a stealing poor place that has been denied the presence of the poor man's rose. Bluebells are delicate, lanky souls. Somehow, they remind me of the oppressed, impoverished people, for they stand so humble, their heads drooped, lest they offend the towering, ugly brambles and weeds, the parasites of nature. Yet these ladies of slender elegance, like the poor man, are the most precious and deserved of their kind. Yellow and white are the colours of God and Easter. The Dutch yellow of the daffodil is a hauntingly beautiful shade, but yellow and white roses portray the purity of freedom, and their scent has been drunk by the bondsman, arousing his heart. They have blossomed into murderous rebellions, these gentle roses. They've bled in pitiful agony before the callous winds of a foreign land. They are Pierce and Conley, this terrible beauty. Goddesses, queens, angels of glory. Such are the praises of flowers. The muses of the poet, the heart of the artist, and the sorrow of love once lost. But there are none more courageous nor sorrowful than those oppressed flowers in Armagh jail. Irish women who, unlike the flowers of the wild, refuse to bow before the foreign winds of torture and inhumanity. The beauty of the nation is being scarred by pain and hate. It has been buried in dark dungeons, hidden from the light of day, without which no flower can survive. It can be heard screaming in a tormenting agony that wrecks the heart. Yet these flowers refuse to be broken, refuse to be broken, refuse to be broken.
grandfather once said that the imprisonment of the lark is a crime of the greatest cruelty, because the lark is one of the greatest symbols of freedom and happiness. In a few hours' time, I shall be 27 grand years of age. Paradoxically, it will be a happy enough birthday. Perhaps that's because I am free in spirit. Now, as I write, the odd curlew mournfully calls as they fly over. I like the birds. Well, I must leave off, for if I write more about the birds, my tears will fall and my thoughts return to the days of my youth. They were the days, and gone forever now. But I enjoyed them. They're in my heart. Good night now. There's an inner thing in every man. Do you know this thing, my friend? It has withstood the blows of a million years and will do so to the end. It was born when time did not exist, and it grew up out of life. It cut down evil's strangling fangs like a slashing, searing knife. It lit fires when fires were not, and burnt the mind of man, tempering leadened hearts to steel from the time that time began. It wept by the waters of Babylon, and when all men were at loss, it screeched in writhing agony, and it hung bleeding from the cross. It died in Rome by lion and sword, and in defiant cruel array, and the deathly word was Spartacus along the Appian Way. It marched with what the tailors poor, and frightened lord and king, and it was emblazoned in their deathly stare as ever a living thing. It smiled in holy innocence before conquistadors of old, so meek and tame and unaware of the deadly power of gold. It burst forth through pitiful Paris streets and stormed the old Bastille and marched upon the serpent's head and crushed it beneath its heel. It died in blood on buffalo plains and starved by moons of rain. Its heart was buried in wounded knee, but it will come to rise again. It screamed aloud by Kerry Lakes as it was knelt upon the ground, and it died in great defiance as they coldly shot it down. It is found in every light of hope. It knows no bounds nor space. It is risen in red and black and white. It is there in every race. It lies in the hearts of heroes dead. It screams in tyrants' eyes. It has reached the peak of mountains high. It comes searing across the skies. It lights the dark of this prison cell. It thunders forth its might. It is the undauntable thought, my friend. That thought that says, I'm right.